Welcome to Family Awareness Talk Show. In this episode, we'll be talking about foods, what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. We'll have Dr. George Jackson with us on Zoom from California, Loma Linda University. And we'll have dietitian Miss Ola Mougharbil from Lebanon inside the studio. Hello, Professor George Jackson from Loma Linda University. Welcome you on Family Awareness Talk Show. Our episode today is about the food we eat and living a healthy life. Since you have been concerned about your personal diet for a long time, and you have also been a vegetarian, how much has this impacted your health positively?
Yes, I am a vegetarian. I have a plant-based diet. That comes to my mind is my heart. It was a physical problem with my heart valve, and I had to have heart surgery. Well, before my heart surgery, they did an angiogram, completely clear. I had no heart disease. I had no atherosclerosis, no hardening of the arteries. So it was a very successful operation. And because of my lifestyle and my diet, even though I had a damaged heart, that was a physical problem, I was able to have a successful surgery because of my clear blood vessels.
What are the kinds of foods you think they are healthy for children and why?
Right. So, one thing, living in Lebanon, and I love Lebanon, I miss Lebanon. One thing I do notice in the stores, there's a lot of packaged food, potato chips, sweet, packaged sweets and candies, a lot of foods that are high in fat, high in salt, high in sugar, and a lot of people drink sugar-sweetened drinks. And all those things are really bad for a young person's health, anybody's health. You're much better eating the traditional Lebanese diet where lots of fruits and vegetables and the grains and the nuts, food more in their natural state, not so processed that you see in packaged food. Go for the natural, hummus is a wonderful food. But the packaged food that is high in, what they say, high calorie, low nutrient foods, these packaged foods, and they're not good for our health.
Dr. George, some people drink coffee because they think coffee helps them be awakened and comfortable for a longer time. How much do you think coffee would affect people who consumed it on the daily basis?
Yeah, coffee is a problem because yes, it will make you feel alert. It will make you feel awake, but your body eventually pays for that later. It's an addictive substance. It's a stimulant. There's nothing really good in coffee very much. So you're better off to stay away. You're better off to have better sleeping habits rather than using a substance like coffee to keep you awake. Now, I know that's hard in Lebanon because I could hear the apartments at night. People are awake in Lebanon at night. That's part of the lifestyle. But if you're a student, maybe you're a medical student. My daughter was a medical student. She went to bed early all the time and got up. You can do it. You've got to change your cycle. You're much better to do that than to rely on an addictive substance like caffeine. It's not a healthy drink.
Professor George, vegetarians don't eat red meat. What are the substitutes in case people don't eat red meat and at the same time they want to benefit from the same protein that's found in red meat?
Right, yeah, that's a really good question. And there's been a lot of research going on right here at the University, Loma Linda University here in California, where I am now. They've done many years of study. Basically, the more towards plant-based diet, the better. And the further along you are on that continuum towards a plant-based diet, the better. We don't need to eat meat. Things, especially in the Lebanese diet, with the lentils and the hummus and the beans, all these plant-based proteins are fine. We don't need, The bad thing, yes, you do get protein from meat products, but the real issue is you're getting saturated fats. And that's what's causing things like heart disease.
I myself don't eat red meat, but instead I have to take pills that contain vitamin B12. But what is your advice to the viewers who want to substitute meat by other foods that contains B12?
Yes, you know, it's probably the one thing that is more difficult to get in a vegetarian diet is B12. Maybe vitamin D is another issue from everyone because that's another supplement that's being shown to be really necessary, especially in the Middle East. People are low in vitamin D. But yes, it is a good idea to take B12 supplements. If you don't have access to supplements, something like an egg or some dairy products every now and then will provide you with B12. Eggs would be particularly high in B12. So, you know, I haven't had some B12 supplements for a while, but you do store quite a lot. So you do want to, B12 is something to watch. And that's probably really the only issue with a vegetarian diet.
What do you advise people who try to bribe their children with a piece of chocolate, and that is in order for the children to obey their parents or do their homework?
Yeah, that's probably developing not good habits because students don't want to necessarily associate success with eating sweets. And I know that could happen. Yeah, you're dealing with kind of a cultural issue there. Chocolate is high in fat, high in sugar, and it also has caffeine in it. So those are things that young people don't need. So I would advise that to try to find some other positive reinforcement rather than food and sweetened food. Go for a walk with your child, or sit down and play a game with them, or do something that's a positive interaction rather than relying on something unhealthy. Find a better alternative. There's always something better you can choose.
We all know that fruits are healthy for each one of us, while some people don't like to eat them. How can we tell people how much fruits are healthy for our bodies?
Yes. Find a fruit that's in season. You know, when the mangoes are coming into the country, we were just eating mangoes. They were wonderful. But, you know, the apples from the mountains of Lebanon are beautiful. The strawberries that's in season, you know, the pineapples were expensive from Africa. There was no, you don't need to buy pineapples. Buy some local peaches and nectarines and apricots from Lebanon. The good thing about fruits is they have lots of fiber. Yes, they have sugar in them, but that sugar is locked up in the fiber in a more natural state. So it's just a matter of education. The more fruit you eat, it's good for your digestion in terms of preventing diabetes. It's a much better choice than sweetened packaged foods. And it's just a matter of education and stepping out and trying something new that maybe you're not used to.
Dr. George, I hope you can give us an advice about a healthy diet that families should follow in order to grow healthy.
Okay, AUB has put out a very nice document. I could send you the link. Albanese, the traditional Mediterranean diet is very healthy. It's these Western influences of fast foods and packaged foods that are bad for our health. So when you think about your diet, think of it as a cedar tree. And this is what this AUB document does. So, and half of those cereals and grains should be whole grain, not processed. So at the bottom of your cedar tree, you want the majority of your diet needs to be cereals and whole grains. Moving up, as we move up the tree, you want fruits and vegetables with nuts and seeds. That's your, not as much, but you're moving up the tree. As you move further up, then you will want some more of your proteins. If you're choosing to eat meats, eat lean meats, cut the fats off the meat, try to not limit your saturated fats. Alternatively, there's legumes, there's beans, there's chickpeas, there's hummus. preferably unsalted nuts that can also provide your protein. Further up that tree, you may have, if you have dairy products, choose low-fat options. I know a lot of people enjoy their lebna. Try to choose low-fat options, and that's where you could also perhaps have egg if you're in your protein, or if you choose meats, smaller amounts of lean meats. At the very top of your cedar tree are going to be your fats and your sugars, only small amounts. You know, the chocolate you're giving to the kids, okay, well, that should be at the top of the tree. That should be only a little bit of your diet, not too much fat and not too much salt and sugar. Sweetened drinks are another big problem. People drink too much of, you know, the Pepsis and the sweetened drinks. Those are really very unhealthy drinks.
Dr. George, I have read that sugar in soft drinks lower the immunity system, especially the white sugar. How much do you think this is true?
Yeah, you know, they're finding more and more studies with sugar sweetened drinks, like what they call soft drinks or carbonated drinks. And I don't know if they know all the reasons yet, but they're so bad for your health. Somehow the combination of the sugar in these carbonated drinks, some of them like Pepsi's have caffeine as well. They're just really very unhealthy, and people drink it a lot. And you're better off to drink water, lots of pure water, and it's readily available in Lebanon, and it's cheap.
Dr. George, one last advice for the viewers of Family Awareness Talk Show.
The advice I would give is for people to go back to their traditional Mediterranean Lebanese diet. It really is a very good diet. Lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of grains, lots of natural cereals. You've got the best olive oil in the world. Use it in moderation, not too much, but olive oil is a healthy fat. And the more you can move towards a plant-based diet, research is showing the better you are. Now, you may not have a completely plant-based diet. Make good choices. If you're going to eat meat, cut the fat off it, of the chicken and the meat. Limit your intake. Switch to plant-based products wherever you can.
Dr. George Jackson, thank you for being with us and showing us with many good information about what we should eat. Welcome, Ms. Ola, dietitian. Ms. Ola, you have been working in this field for a while now, and you know, in Lebanon we have cuisine that is healthy. So if I want to go vegetarian, or if anyone wants to be a vegetarian, it's very easy for them. So what would you advise people to feed their children who are going to school to improve their way of thinking and to be fit and healthy?
Good morning, and I have to introduce, first of all, my major. It's nutrition, and I have my own clinic. First of all, it's very important to focus on the children's health and the children's lifestyle. In my clinic, I don't give children a diet, strict diet. So I focus on mindful eating or something like lifestyle, more like lifestyle. Mm-hmm. If we focus also on the pressure and the fast food diet, it's a global now, and all children like to eat fast food because they are more pleasure, and they choose this because it is easy to eat it.
Yeah, you know, kids like to eat chocolate and like to eat foods like we say junk food.
Yeah.
When we say junk food, that means it's not healthy. So what is the healthy diet would you suggest to children? For example, would you advise them to eat meat or eat vegetables or eat fruits most of the times?
We have to focus on overall eating.
For example, would you categorize them for us?
Yes. I prepared for you today 7 points we have to talk about it. We have to focus on overall diet for children and not to be strict on their diet. For example, not to be strict. For example, we say don't eat chocolate and chips, and it's unhealthy food, and no for fast food. No, we can give him a little choices. For example, once a week to eat chocolate and chips, and if you want, also we have to be a role model. We cannot say to children, don't eat that and don't eat that, and we gorge on a potato chips, for example.
Yeah, for example, yes.
Yeah, and we have to add vegetables and fruits on our meal for children. For example, burger or something like this, we can add vegetable to this type of foods. We can, for example, do a meal at home, like hamburger or escalope or anything like this that the children like to eat. We can make it at home by an easy way, and to cook with lighter, or if you want to say more healthy food.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, we have to use a special oil in order to fry the
French
fries.
French fries, for example, we have a substitution for French fries. Yes. We can go for baked potato, for example, or grilled on oven.
But kids like French fries. They are born to love French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, children are not born craving pizza and French fries. We are responsible for what they eat. If you put your children to eat every day French fries, pizza, and something like this, they will be addicted on this food.
Yeah. Okay. So some kids become addicted on chocolate.
Yeah.
What happens that parents will tell them, if you do this, I will give you chocolate. How much is this good, or it is wrong?
It's very wrong. It's so wrong to tell to a children, if you do that, I will give you a chocolate. It will do a relationship with the food and the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
We can, for example, substitute this by, I will take you to do a bicycle, or to go shopping, or to do something else, and not eat the chocolate, because chocolate is something good بتصير to the children. It will appear it be something right to.
Okay, you know, Dr. George Jackson said that eating meat is unhealthy, and he advised us to substitute red meat with egg. How much do you think this would be applicable in the Lebanese daily lives?
Children needs a protein, so we can substitute meat by egg. It's more important for children, mm-hmm. because meat can cause cancer, for example, because they include nitrates.
Wow.
Mainly, the sausage, if you want, like makanet, we
yes.
say in Lebanon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's contain a very huge number of nitrate that cause cancer. Yeah. So it's important to.
Dogs. Mm-hmm. Any type of hot dogs contains nitrate.
Yeah, hot dogs and processed meat. All this type of food are unhealthy for children, and we have to take into consideration what to give to our children. The recent study showed that children who eats healthy food have a high score in IQ test.
Wow.
Yeah, it's important to show and to focus on this study and on this issue.
You know, as we were talking with Dr. George Jackson about sugar lowers immunity, and it takes it to zero sometimes.
Yeah.
So what is a substitute of sweets? So he suggested that fruit is good for our bodies and for our brains. How much do you think we can push our children to eat fruits?
It's very important to push our children to eat fruits, because fruits contain fibers and vitamins and sugar, but the good sugar for our health.
How would you illustrate the good sugar from the bad sugar?
Yeah,
because many people don't understand that this is bad sugar and this is a good sugar.
We have two types of sugar. We have the simple sugar and we have the complex one, or we say the complex carb. The simple sugar, like for example, the sugar we added to the soda. The American Association, the American Heart Association, say that we have to give for the children only 3 grams of 3 teaspoons of sugar per day, 12 grams per day. But if you imagine like a can of Pepsi or 7-Up, it contains a huge number of sugar, and sugar will be a fluctuation in their moods and their energy. So that make the children to low immunity and high risk for diseases.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask you a very important question, because we live in Lebanon and all people love manaish. How manaish would become bad for our children if they eat it at school?
When we eat manaish contains the simple sugar, and simple sugar can be go directly to the blood and put the children on a high risk to be for diabetes. Okay, to have diabetes problem, yeah. And recently we show that many of children have diabetes type 2 at an early age.
Oh, wow. Okay, I want to tell you about obesity. Is obesity caused by food or by what?
Okay, about obesity, always I say that pregnant woman or the mom of the children is responsible for the obesity of children.
How come?
Yeah, before being pregnant, the mother should take into consideration about their healthy body. If she eats and she takes care about her body, so she can get a decision for her baby. Mm-hmm. For example, here in Lebanon, we say for a pregnant woman, when she is pregnant, eat something like you have two person to have. You have to eat
for 2 persons.
For 2 persons.
How much is it wrong?
It's never strong. It's so wrong to say that for a pregnant woman. Pregnant woman should take into consideration the first 3 months shouldn't be gaining weight at all. The second trimester should start to gain
So it is
weight.
wrong to double the menu.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
So what is your advice to the people who are trying to go for a diet and they are struggling with it?
People should program what they eat and focus on what I eat. Each meal I eat, I have to show if it's possible to eat it or not. They contain fibers. Ask yourself, they contain fibers, contain minerals, contain something important for our health or not. Okay,
tell me your last advice to the Lebanese people who want to get rid of bad food and want to go, for junk food and want to go for a healthy food.
Okay. The last advice for the people to go on a healthy diet, that focus on what you eat and drink more water, and substitute unhealthy food by the healthy food. For example, French fries by baked potato, ice cream by the yogurt, and by fruits, and sorbet and fruit smoothie if you want. And to focus also on what we eat on our daily menu. Focus on breakfast. Don't skip breakfast, because studies show that people who skip breakfast are at higher risk to be obese. Mm-hmm. And skip negative people, if you want, when you start the diet. And one advice, don't measure your weight every day. Skip the scale and focus on the mindful eating.
So it's good to stick to the company who eats healthy food.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ola, dietitian Ola Mougharbil. Thank you so much for the good information you have given to our viewers. Thank you so much. I wish you a good day.